had just been worshiping, and then I felt the presence of Jesus come in, and it is just, whenever that happens, it just feels so amazing. And I instantly stepped over into heaven, and there was this green grass that was just amazing. It was beautiful, and there was a tall, skinny, black-haired guy that was standing there, and he said, and then there was this river that ran back behind him, and he said, "Come on, sis," and I was like, and then instantly Jesus was here, and I turned to Jesus and I said, "Who's that?" So he was in the river, and he said, "Come on." And so I started walking, and I realized that I was barefooted, and I started walking, and I stepped into the river, and it's just, the water in heaven is incredible. And as soon as I stepped in, my feet started tingling, and it started running up my legs. And then I just I gotta have more, so I got in a little deeper, and it went up to my knees, and it was just so amazing and so full of life. And I was just like, I've got to have more of this. So I reached down and I just started splashing it, because you're just like, you got to have more. It was just so full of life. And the water, it has texture. It's kind of, and I was like, how do you explain the water? It's like Jello, but then it's also kind of like baby oil, because it's slick, but it has substance, and it's real lively, like Sprite. So if you get a combination of that, you will swim in that, But it was just it's just so full of life. And so I was like face down in this water, and I looked up, and brother was floating on his back, and he was floating down the river. So I flipped over on my back, and I started floating down the river. And according to my mom and dad, I could swim since birth. So what I thought was incredible was that even if you didn't know how to swim, there was so much life in the water that you float. And so I was just floating in this water, and it just tingles. It's just amazing. It just tingles everything, because it's so lively and it's so full of life. These huge flowers were hanging over this river, and that I was floating under, and huge, beautiful weeping willow trees and huge flowers. And as I was floating down this, I was thinking, I wonder where this, where am I going? What is, where did this river come from? And Jesus knew what I was thinking, even though he was over here and I was floating down the river. He says, this river flows under the throne. This river flows under the throne of God. So I was like, well, no wonder it's so full of life. But it has substance, which is just really, really neat. And then later on, I was standing underneath this waterfall, and this waterfall, as it came down, it had the same substance and had the same tingling feel of this river. And so so I'm wondering if all the water in heaven is like that. It's amazing.